Hey, thank you for watching. I hope you can see me okay. It's a little bit bright. Let me try and get this lighting right. Sorry about that. Mm, I don't know if that's okay. Sorry, guys. Well, let's just get to it. Today I was going to talk about a really helpful tip, something that I recently learned. I hadn't really thought about this much as far as how to write a very compelling opening chapter to your novel. Um, a lot of times when we think of theme, we think more of theme as something that it occurs later in a novel, not really like in the first sentence or the first chapter. But when we're trying to construct a very compelling opening line to our novel that makes readers say, yeah, I want to, you know, I don't know, invest my time to continue reading this book. It kind of hooks them. Theme actually does play a factor. Um, for example, Pride and Prejudice. It has that famous opening line. The very first line in the book is, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife." So that's like slightly sarcastic, it's witty, it's a great opening line. But what it also does is directly point to some of the major themes in Pride and Prejudice, which are how social class, wealth, and gender affect the business of marriage and the magic of finding true love, and if that's even possible to find true love. So, like, all of those thematic elements of the book that are going to be deeply explored in this love story, that's all alluded to in that very first opening line, which is like really witty and it's just great. So, how do we apply that? Well, we have to like take some time to think about what's at the heart of our novels. Like, we know our characters so well because we've already written the whole book. We've already written our first draft of the manuscript, and now we're going back to edit it. So we've sat with our characters for a long time. We know them inside and out thoroughly. But what about the theme? And usually the theme, it somehow like relates to what the main character wants, the obstacle that's in their way, in the way of them getting what they want. The theme has to do with that. And just kind of like what is the motivating force, the motivating drive, the heart of the story. So it takes a minute to really sit and think about that. And then whatever that is, use that to craft a great opening line or a couple of opening lines to the book. And it doesn't have to be like Jane Austen. She just wrote, sort of a declarative sentence, a funny one. It doesn't have to be like that. The opening line of your book could be an action sequence, but still the action can relate to the theme of the book. Or it could be like dialogue, something funny that someone says. But once again, that dialogue relates to the major theme of the book. And again, why is it so important that the major theme of the book be alluded to in the opening line? Well, it kind of has to do with what we as humans find palatable. And one of the things that we really like is we like patterns. For some reason, we just like patterns. It could be because that's the easiest way for us to learn through patterns. I don't know. We just like them for some reason. For example, when you're listening to music and you find yourself really drawn to the music, there's something about it you really like. Usually, the thing about it that you like is that the pattern, the melody or the refrain, um, it repeats throughout the song in a way that your brain can easily recognize. It's like your brain starts to get comfortable with what it's hearing because it detects the pattern. Patterns make our brains happy. So that's why we like music that is very consistent in nature. Not that it's like super repetitive and robotic, but like, for example, if you think about a John Williams song, like Star Wars, for example, um, I can't think of the theme of Star Wars. I can't think of the theme. I was going to hum it, but can't think of it. But you know how the theme, or I guess you call it the refrain of Star Wars, it's the same, but played like with different instruments and slightly tweaked a bit throughout the whole composition. And people love that theme, the theme to Star Wars that John Williams made, because it's so repetitive, but in a nice, pleasant way. It has a great pattern. So my point in all of that was that when, as writers, we want to do the same thing. We want our books to have a pattern, and the pattern is really great when it circles or centers around the theme of the book. So just like Jane Austen started off with that funny little line that alluded to the theme of Pride and Prejudice, we can do that too with our books, and that will help to hook readers in, make them interested and want to stay with our novel for the duration of the book. All right, well, that is all I have on one tip on how to write a compelling first chapter. There are so many others, but that's just one little perspective to include theme in the first line. And if you have other tips or some more advice on how to write a great first chapter, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. Also, if you've written a book and you think you did a really good job at writing the first chapter, please let me know, because I'm always looking to read new books. Trying to find something to read right now, actually. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you for watching.